Welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking a deeply spiritual and honestly, absolutely fascinating seasonal cycle, the Haudenosaunee Midwinter Festival. We're going to put a special focus on a really unique Tuscarora tradition known as Nuya. Get ready because we are about to explore a profound cycle of renewal, community healing, and cosmic balance.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Think of our agenda today as a sort of ceremonial calendar. We'll start with a unique cultural fusion, then move into the deeply symbolic rituals of stirring the ashes, the dream-guessing rite, sacred dances and healing, the peachstone game, and finally, purification and cosmic renewal.
Starting off with Section 1, a unique cultural fusion.
To really get what the Tuscarora Midwinter Festival, or the Most Excellent Faith, is all about, we gotta rewind a bit and look at how their distinct history shaped their observance. You see, back in the 18th century, after settling in Pennsylvania, the Tuscarora encountered their German neighbors. These neighbors were exchanging Festkuchen, little cakes, on New Year, or New Year's Day. Over time, the Tuscarora actually adopted and adapted this custom, and they called it Nuya. This was a huge, pivotal shift. In fact, by 1852, the very last traditional longhouse midwinter rite was held on the Tuscarora Reservation. Today, the modern Nuya observance is this vibrant, living, breathing tradition featuring hunting competitions and massive community feasts. It's just a perfect example of how a culture can adapt to new surroundings while totally preserving its community spirit.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the contrast between the traditions. The broader, old-way Haudenosaunee Midwinter is this highly structured, 9-day cycle of renewal anchored entirely in traditional longhouses. But contrast that with the Nuya. It focuses heavily on house-to-house visiting, collective food gathering, and these really lively hunting competitions between the young and old men. It essentially transformed a localized spiritual rite into a dynamic, community-wide social celebration of the new year.
Moving right along to Section 2, stirring the ashes.
So, while Nuya is distinctly Tuscarora, it's absolutely vital that we understand the foundational elements of the broader Haudenosaunee Midwinter Festival. And that whole process begins right at the hearth with stirring the ashes. This is a beautiful, symbolic gesture of gratitude and renewal, where participants use these special wooden paddles to turn and refresh the wood fire ashes. The literal fire of the community hearth is a direct metaphor for the inner spiritual spark of the people. By tending to that physical fire, they are actively tending to the spiritual life of the entire community.
But why ashes, right? Well, understanding the why behind the what reveals the true depth of this ritual. It's not just about cleaning up a fire pit. It's about the renewal of Mother Earth's vitality for the coming spring. It's about restoring balance by clearing out the dust and negativity of the past year. But perhaps the most incredible aspect is the inclusion. The act of stirring the embers is a pragmatic call to reach out to quiet or dormant community members. You know, the folks who might feel a little disconnected. It ensures everyone's spark is re-engaged. It's a profound acknowledgement of cyclical time, literally closing one chapter and deliberately opening the next.
Which brings us to Section 3, the dream-guessing rite.
Now we're transitioning from the physical hearth to the inner workings of the human mind, and I want to pose a really profound question to you. How do you cure a sickness of the soul? For the Haudenosaunee, the answer lies in our dreams. They believe that dreams aren't just random, meaningless fantasies. They're sacred messages expressing the soul's deepest desires. And when those desires are ignored or unfulfilled, they can actually cause severe psychological distress and even physical sickness. So the cure requires bringing these deeply private dreams out into the communal light.
Let's walk through exactly how this works. Step 1, presenting the riddle. The dreamer shares a stylized clue or riddle rather than just stating the dream directly. Step 2, collaborative guessing. The community uses their shared cultural knowledge and symbols to decipher the meaning together. It's like a giant puzzle. Finally, Step 3, fulfillment of the dream. The person who guesses correctly is honored with helping the dreamer fulfill the dream's request. And this brilliantly illustrates how an individual's heavy burden is transformed into a shared communal responsibility. You are quite literally never left alone with your internal conflicts. Next up, Section 4, sacred dances and healing.
Moving out of the realm of dreams, the festival shifts to physical acts of prayer and renewal. For the Haudenosaunee, these notable ceremonial dances are much, much more than just entertainment. They are a form of prayer that transcends words, allowing direct communication with the Creator. We have the Great Feather Dance, which is this vigorous, incredibly cheerful dance filled with yelling to loudly welcome the new year and offer thanksgiving. Then there's the Bear Dance, where dancers actually mimic a bear's movements specifically for healing and clearing away misfortune. And the Water Drum Dance, danced in a circle to a steady beat, acknowledging the unending, ongoing cycle of life. Every single dance serves a distinct, absolutely crucial spiritual purpose. Now, integral to all these healing dances are the medicine societies. These are sacred organizations like the False Face Society, completely dedicated to maintaining spiritual, emotional, and physical well-being through protected rituals and masks. It's crucial to understand they aren't like Western medical practitioners you visit at a clinic. Actually, scratch that. They are more like the ultimate guardians of communal harmony. And membership, it isn't something you just sign up for. It's typically acquired after being cured by the society yourself or by having a profound dream that specifically calls you to join them.
All right, on to Section 5, the Peach Stone Game.
From sacred healing, we move to a ritual that playfully, yet very seriously, reenacts cosmic struggles. So the crucial point here relies on the number 6. This represents the 6 flattened, beautifully polished peach stones used in a deeply sacred bowl game. Now, this isn't just a simple game of chance. It honors the ancient Haudenosaunee creation story where the right-handed twin, who is the creator, and the left-handed twin, the troublemaker, used a game to settle their cosmic differences.
Now, this game does involve betting, but get this, wagering items of value, like traditional clothing or wampum, demonstrates that material possessions are absolutely not the most important things in life. It's never ever about accumulating personal wealth. In fact, they strictly avoid wagering items that are red for anger, black for death, or shiny for greed. Furthermore, the game is often played between the 7 traditional matrilineal clans like the bear, turtle, and wolf clans. Playing against one another in this sacred way actually strengthens the bonds and alliances across the entire community. It's brilliant.
And finally, Section 6, Purification and Cosmic Renewal.
We finally reached the culminating theme of the Midwinter Festival, where the community completely clears the slate to step freshly into the year ahead. Over time, we've seen this really beautiful evolution of purification practices. Historically, the festival included a white dog sacrifice. A dog decorated with ribbons was offered through fire so its spirit could carry the community's prayers and sins to the Creator via smoke. But today, that physical sacrifice has evolved into the use of a white basket. It's a decorated white basket containing sacred offerings like tobacco, and it maintains the exact same spiritual purpose of purification and atonement. This perfectly highlights a culture that respectfully adapts to the modern world while fiercely preserving its core spiritual intent.
Central to this modern purification is the tobacco invocation. It's a sacred act where the community burns real tobacco to create a bridge of smoke, carrying gratitude and prayers directly up to the spirit world. You know, the Haudenosaunee are sometimes called the tobacco people because of how deeply this specific plant is woven into their spiritual identity. By collecting tobacco from everyone in the community for this invocation, it ensures that when that smoke rises, the community's prayers are completely 100% unified.
Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. Are you ready to clear away the dust of your past year and walk into the new cycle with a straight mind? The entire Midwinter Festival, from the Tuscarora New Year feasts to the stirring of the ashes, all the way to the dream guessing rite, is ultimately about this one overarching goal: maintaining cosmic balance, letting go of the past, and renewing your spirit right alongside your community. So, think about it. What ashes do you need to stir in your own life to keep your fire burning bright? Thank you so much for learning with us today. I'll see you next time.